Dear students, welcome back to our lessons. We're going to continue where we left in our last lesson. We're going to continue talking about the map ratio. This time, today, we're going to see how to use the map ratio to find the real life distance. So, in our previous lessons, first we discussed what is the map ratio. Then in yesterday's lesson, we discussed how to use the map ratio to find the distance on the map. Now today we're going to discuss how to use the map ratio to find distance in real life. So we're going to continue on this topic, the map ratio. And today's objective is going to be how to use, we're going to learn how to use the map ratio to find the distances in real life. It is very similar to what we have done in our last lesson, but this time, instead of finding the map distance, we're going to find the real life distance. So I'm going to start immediately by writing down an example, and then I'll explain using that example. So, for example, John and Maria went on a hike and used a map to guide them in their journey. They wanted to cover a distance which measured in a straight line on their map was 7 centimeters long. If the map ratio was 1:14,000, what was the length of the distance they had to cover? So that is our problem. That is our problem. Let us see its solution. So John and Maria went on a hike, used the map to guide them in their journey. They wanted to cover a distance which measured in a straight line on their map was 7 centimeters long. The map ratio was 1:14,000. What was the length of the distance which they had to cover? So we can always draw something for us to be able to see, because that's normally easier. So they had to cover a distance. That distance was 7 centimeters long. The map ratio was 1:14,000. And we need to find the distance which they had to cover. So let us see. We're going always to start from the map ratio. So we have the map ratio 1:14,000. Let's remember a little bit what those two numbers represent. So 1 represents distance on the map, while 14,000 represent distance in real life. Okay, so this 7 centimeters, which is written down on the map, which was the distance between the two places on the map, that is distance on the map, so it has to be written beneath the map distance. So 7 centimeters on the map. How much is it in real life? Now, normally we don't need to change units here, but we might be asked to change units afterwards when we need to write down the answer. So I'm not going to change any units now. It's quite different from what we have done in our last lesson. And I'm going to continue working out that statement. So it's 14,000 times multiplied by 14,000 multiplied by 7. Okay? And 14,000 multiplied by 7 is 98,000. Now, what are those? We have U centimeters here, so they are 98,000 centimeters. Now, it depends. If I'm not told anything, I can leave my answer as 98,000 centimeters. But, if I'm told, for example, give your answer in meters, to change from centimeters to meters, I must divide by 100. So divided by 100, that would be 980 meters. If I was asked, for example, to give my answer in kilometers, I have to divide by 1000. And my answer would have been 0.98 kilometers. Okay, so you have to be careful for what you are being asked of. In this case, this was the first example. I didn't ask you to give your answer in any particular unit, so as you can see, I have worked out the problem and I have given out different answers which are all correct. Okay, so that is our first problem. Let's find another example. Okay, so a model car is made on a ratio of 1:45. If the model car is 38 centimeters long, how long is the car in real life? Give your answer in meters. So, as you can see here, we have the ratio of the car, we have the length of the model car. We need to find the length of the car in real life, and we are also told to give the answer in meters. Okay, to give the answer in meters. So, what are we going to do? So, we're going to start, as usual, from the ratio. We have a ratio of 1:45. As usual, I always write down this. You should do the same. Okay, so 1 is distance on the map, 45 is the real life distance. Always write it down so that you won't forget. Now, the model is 38 centimeters. The model is not the real life. So the model is 38 centimeters. That is how much in real life? So we need to multiply 38 by 45. So the real life car is 38 by 45. You can always, of course, use your calculator to work that out. Okay, which gives an answer of 1,710. These are centimeters, so these are centimeters. But we are told to give our answer in meters, so we should change that to meters. To change to meters, I have to divide by 100. So the car is 17.1 meter long. Okay, so that is our lesson for today. I gave you two examples. These are all the same. Okay, so be careful. Hope you have understood. See you in our next lesson.